In Irotoridori no Sekai, the colorful world, you play as Yuuma, a boy with a memory so bad he makes Solid Snake from the first Metal Gear Solid game look like Sherlock Holmes.
Psycho Mantis.
He can't remember his past at all, and has to write down every day in a diary in order to not forget everything again the next day. There's also an anime girl living inside him that only he can see and nobody else. You might be tempted to say that he belongs at the hospital instead of the local high school after hearing that, but it's actually real, and she even bestows upon him magical abilities like the power to heal anyone's injury by touch. He works under the local witch, Suzu, and they go on adventures to parallel worlds to attempt to save people from a mysterious power that is snatching random people away to the heavens in a burst of feathers. I was really drawn in by the unique setting here. It's such an interesting world with a lot of lore and an intriguing mystery to investigate. I really like the art style. It's very colorful, no pun intended, and there's some great music as well, from the fun and whimsical character themes to the more emotional tracks that play at story moments. To me, the game is really at its best when you're adventuring across the different parallel worlds, seeing the cool stuff they come up with, and uncovering the mysteries of the world and the unknown power that is stealing people away. A couple of the worlds you visit include a town that seems empty at first, but is actually bustling and full of ghosts that cannot see you back, and a merchant town, where you see some festivals and also furries. I really enjoyed the creativity there and just seeing all that they had to offer. Unfortunately, there is a lot of fluff. The common route is extremely long, such that you might consider writing your own diary just like Yuuma to keep track of the plot. And there's a lot of repetitive anime humor, making fun of the main character for being a pervert for stuff that he obviously didn't even do. Also, a lot of the characters come across as one-dimensional and obnoxious in the common route. Kana is overly clingy and constantly begging to be the main character's wife, kind of like Jacob from Twilight. And Mio is really bossy and constantly ordering you around and being mean to you even though you're supposedly friends. But it is not all bad. There's a really cool scene where you have a battle with this demon thing, where the vibe totally shifts into getting more serious, and was the point where I was finally hooked on the story. Once you break out of the common routes and into their actual character routes, the characters get a whole lot more fleshed out and likable as they start to act more like actual people instead of meme templates, and you uncover their complex backstories and glow closer to them as you complete their quests. I like Kana's the most, probably because that one involves the most adventuring to the parallel worlds, which I really liked as I mentioned earlier, and relates the most to the main plot and mystery. It begins with her coming along on an adventure regarding the mysterious disappearances, but she has a difficult time accepting why people have to be taken by this power, and the morals of letting them be sacrificed for the good of the world's survival. It gets interesting, and she really develops a lot as a character from how she was in the common route. Aside from her, a common theme between most of the character routes is accepting who you are, or something you did in the past, and working through that past drama to become more proud of who you are today. There's also some huge plot twists, not just in Kana's but the other routes too, that really change how you see the characters. Normally, I'm a big fan of plot twists, but for me, most of the twists kind of made no sense. Whoa, okay look, a good twist is supposed to be foreshadowed a bit, so that even though you're surprised by it, it still makes sense in the story, and you realize looking back it was clearly part of the story all along. But I got the opposite impression from the ones here, especially the Kana one. It involved making up new stuff that you didn't even know was possible in this world, and just seemed pulled out of nowhere for shock value, at least in my opinion. As for the true route, without giving any spoilers, there's an even huger plot twist that I actually thought were kinda good this time. The main one, despite being incredibly shocking, actually made sense when I thought about it and explained a lot of the questions I had about the world. The main romance though was just kinda okay to me. It seemed a little more forced by the conditions of the story rather than naturally developing, despite being highly praised by most people online I saw. But the story otherwise in the true route was still pretty good I thought, and had me at the edge of my seat as everything finally unfolded. Overall, Irotoridori no Sekai was an enjoyable experience with a great setting and fascinating main plot and mystery, but is bogged down a bit by a lot of fluff and repetitive hijinks with the characters before things start finally moving along and developing. But if the premise intrigues you and you have some patience to wade through the nonsense, it's a good ride that can be worth the trip.